There is a Sphinx in the Grand Canyon in this tiny little sort of, I don't know, tomb or temple. But what's interesting is it's inside, it's carved in. Now, if you've looked at any sphinxes in the past, you'll see that they're normally prominently displayed. So these ones here are guarding an entranceway. Obviously we know about the Great Sphinx, but they're generally done for a good reason, not to be hidden away in a tiny little thing. Now, this is only the length of a ruler, so literally you could just, it's tiny. And other places already have similar ones, as you can see there. So I don't know. The skeptic in me says that the tourist trade that actually takes people directly to this Sphinx is doing very well out of it. That's all I'm saying. But if it was bigger and properly cut into the rock and everything, then yes, maybe. But I don't know. I struggle. Uniform writing, which is the Anunnakis. Now, see that one there? That's the 1, 2, and 3. And the way it works is you would add another one, for example, to make one word or one letter or one part of a pronunciation, and then you would add other things to it. So, for example, I'm just making this one up, but you would then probably put that inside there. So then you've got a whole word there and so on. Now, when you look at the Egyptians, you can see, again, very similar. Now, these were pressed in into clay, which is obviously not done by pen, so it's easier with a stick that already has that point there. So you just literally push it into the clay. But as Egyptian times went on, you realise that they could actually draw on walls with paint, so it was a lot easier to draw than it was a straight line. You can't do this kind of drawing in a clay, not very easy, so they did the straight lines. What is underneath the Sphinx? Well, there's stories that it could be the Akashic Records, it could be a library. Now, this dates back even older than we think. So even Edgar Cayce around the early 1900s was talking about something under the Sphinx's paw. But we have to look at who was there that would have possibly made the Sphinx for it to hide something underneath it. Now, the Anunnaki were there. So what would they have hidden? Well, it wouldn't have been the Akashic Records. It would have been the tablets of destiny. They had tablets that would decree who was the ruler at that particular point, who was the leader of a particular area, etc. So we know that it would be more likely these type of tablets, because the Anunnaki would have built the Sphinx at the same time. But whatever happens, the military has been aware of this, thanks to people like Edgar Cayce. There is no way that there would now be anything underneath the Sphinx, because American military would have done whatever they could to have taken it. There are people out there that say the pyramid was made using poured limestone concrete. I just have to address this because it doesn't make sense. So basically you need a mold, because it takes 2 weeks for it to harden if you was to do a limestone concrete. So you need a mold round it. Now, there's 2.3 million blocks here, and each block is a different size to the next one. So if you was going to make a mold for 2.3 million blocks, guess how many molds you would need, because each block's different size? Yes, you would need 2.3 million molds to fit the 2.3 million different size blocks. So can we please stop with the poured concrete? It just does not make sense. I have now uploaded a video explaining how I think the Great Pyramid blocks were cut, and it's not using the copper tools that they apparently say that that's what was used. So if you want to find out what my thoughts are, and if you remember, I'm the guy that done the Atlantean video, explained who was in Atlantis, and I'm also the person that concluded that the Book of Enoch is actually talking about the Stonehenge or henges. Now, I've had hundreds and probably thousands of people not complain, but say I'm wrong with the globe theory, but not one person has said I'm wrong on the Atlantean or the Book of Enoch stroke Stonehenge. So am I also going to be right on how they cut these blocks? Do join my Patreon site, Our True History, on Patreon, and there's plenty more videos already there, so you can watch loads already. Thanks. Oh no, the Anunnaki are going to return in 2022. and have a cup of tea with us? Well, let's have a look at why we think it's coming back in 2022. And I don't think it's coming back in 2022 because I've been researching this stuff for 40 odd years, and the amount of times I've heard the Anunnaki are coming back in a few years' time, each time, and they never come back. Now, they are actually dealing with the military, so they're already here doing trades, etc., with the secret military. But there's a book that says the Anunnaki, what will happen when they come back in 2022. Now, the Anunnaki, let's be honest, they're not going to say, right, okay, I'll tell you what, guys, we'll pencil you in and we're going to take over the planet in 2022. They're not going to do that. They're not going to announce why they're coming if it's for hostile reasons. So even if they do come, which they're not going to, it's never going to be for a hostile reason. So, please stop asking me those questions when they're coming back.